All right. So, welcome to another wonderful Wellbeing Wednesday program. And I am here today with a dear friend, Julie Henry, who has prayed for me and I've prayed for her. And we know each other through Facebook. And this is our first face to face interaction, which is really fun because we live in different parts of the country as it is on when meeting people through Facebook. But Julie turned me on to this product that they sell, and I have been using it for a couple of years now. I love it. I recommend it to other people. And so I wanted to talk to her about how this product relates to our well-being so welcome, Julie.
Thank you, Karen. Good to see you. You look lovely.
Thank you.
And
So do you.
thanks. The product has so many different uses. The company name is Morgellons Direct. We are the manufacturer and only distribution for the product. We do sell on Amazon and through our website. And it's a potassium iodide product. It's the safest way to get your iodine.
Can I show it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because I happen to have a bottle. My bottle's got a little drippy on it, but let's see if my camera will. My camera's,
Yeah.
there we go. There it is.
Oh, cool.
I'm being Vanna White here.
Yeah. I was gonna show the kit box, but it'll come out backwards.
Yeah, probably. No,
So
it's coming out forward. Coming out great. I see
maybe
it.
it's adjustments. I don't
I
know.
see it forward on my side.
So just to kind of explain about the product, it's the only one of its kind in the world. It's a dry mixing kit. So within the kit, you get all the tools pre-measured that you need to make any strength of solution that you want, whether it's a 5% solution, which is excellent for a dietary supplement for iodine, or you can mix it all the way up to SSKI, which is saturated solution of potassium iodide. A lot of people don't understand or don't know that Ki is actually the elemental name for potassium iodide. So that's where you get the SSKI. SSKI is used for more therapeutic means. There's a lot of protocols out there on the internet that use SSKI. If you're using a protocol or a therapy that calls for SSKI, there's no substitute. So
That's what I found. I put it in my water. I put it in my nebulizer. I don't know if other people do that, but I put it in my nebulizer before to like clear sinuses and whatnot, or for myself. That's what I used it for. And it seemed to help. So I don't know if that's
well,
something people do.
that kind of leads us into one of the main uses that I have for SSKI is as an expectorant and a decongestant because years ago I was doing some research on different uses for SSKI because all these other things keep popping up and I didn't know that. So anyway, I ran across an article by the Healthy Home Economist, and her name is Sarah Pope. She's got
Yeah,
all kinds of letters behind her name and a deluxe researcher. She's kind of my go-to
mine too.
on natural alternative, that sort of thing, and just good research on what's going on in the health situations. So anyway, I found an article she wrote called SSKI, the best expectorant you've never tried. So I got to reading it. I'm like, holy cannoli. I had no idea. I get bronchitis twice a year, bad, and from allergies. So you get all the sinus drainage and so forth, and then I just flat can't breathe. And I am asthmatic in certain circumstances, like around a lot of mold and that sort of thing. So anyway, in the article, it talks about her dad was a doctor and he always kept it on hand. And when the kids would get the congestion and the bronchitis and so forth, he'd put 5 drops in a glass of water and they drink it down. And so I decided, can't hurt. And I've got all this KI, I might as well try it. So I did. And in about 10 minutes, I started feeling this rumbling like I needed to cough. And all that gunk came out. I'm like,
Oh,
oh
wow.
word. So it has been a godsend for me, when I get really bad bronchitis or have an asthma issue where my breathing is restricted. Awesome. And
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people across the country and, well, actually, all over the world who have ordered the product because they've read that article or they've had some experiences with family or doctors that have recommended it. So, yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons we use it, or the ways we use it. And I'm presuming at the time she wrote that article, they were probably using the old brand of the 5%, that's the max that it.
Actually, at the time that they were using it back, when she was a kid in the 70s and so forth, um, they had pure SSKI.
Oh, okay.
Um, however, you probably couldn't get it except with a prescription.
Oh,
The
okay.
problem with that is most doctors are not familiar with SSKI and they're restricted to only prescribing it nowadays for very specific things.
Okay.
So, what we did is we don't sell SSKI, we sell a kit where you can make your own, real
Okay.
simple. And all you have to do is add distilled water.
Yep. It was very easy to use. I was like confused at first, like, wait, that sounds I got confused because
Yeah,
it
it's
was too easy. I was like, wait, what?
yeah, it's just a matter of if you're making SSKI, you use the whole packet,
Hmm.
put it in the bottle with the correct amount of distilled water, put the lid on it, shake it up until the crystals dissolve, and you're done. You're
Yep,
ready to use
that was what I did. And I
it.
called you because I was like, what am I supposed to do here? Because in my mind it was supposed to be harder than that.
I know. Well, you open it up, it looks like a science kit because there's a bottle in there, there's a measured syringe, there's a scoop, there's a funnel, and the dropper lid, and there's instructions in there with pictures. But
Yes.
still, people are confused about some of that stuff. So we welcome them to give us a call anytime and ask questions. I'll walk them through it. It's not a big deal. We just want you to be healthier.
Okay, so when I had, like, my mom put iodine on a boo-boo when I was a kid, it was dark. It was like
That's
almost black.
elemental.
What's
Mhm.
that?
That's elemental iodine.
Okay.
That is now highly controlled by the DEA because it's being used in making meth.
Oh, wow. I did not know
That's
that.
why if you see Lugol's iodine on the internet, it is a very weak potassium iodide solution that they've added a little bit of elemental iodine to.
Okay.
And they only use up to 2%. Excuse me a second. They can only use up to 2% because of the regulations through the DEA. So it's a pretty weak solution.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, and
But
yours
yeah,
is
that's what the
clear.
iodine is. You can't hardly find it anymore in the grocery store or anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
And it
also tastes nasty if you've ever tried the golds.
yeah, it is very, and yours is almost tasteless even at full strength, and it's clear. Or when you make it, you make it at home, it comes out clear and like flavorless. Like, I have some in my water and it just tastes
Referred
like
to as
water.
white iodine. It's decolorized or white iodine. Um, when you mix the solution at a 5% solution, you shouldn't taste anything at all. When you mix it at any stronger strengths, the strongest you get is SSKI, and you may taste a little bit of a slight salty taste. I
Yeah.
have the one sister on the planet who is like the most sensitive person, or she may have just been doing it to bug me. Said, "Ew, I can taste salt," when she mixed a 5% solution. She rolled. Yeah. So it's okay.
That's funny. Oh
Yeah.
man. Yeah, no, I didn't taste much. Like I put a drop in my water, the full
Well,
solution, and I don't taste any, it just tastes like water.
I've done. Yeah, even at 5 drops when I'm using it as an expectorant, and the reason I started using potassium iodide to begin with was, several years ago when I was going through all the crazy stuff with menopause. It's a known fact that potassium iodide helps the body create in when it gets into your body as iodine because it converts very easily. It's very bioavailable, but it helps your body create the hormones that you need to balance everything out. Well, as you're getting older and your hair starts falling out and you start getting these oddball whiskers and night
Hot
sweats,
flashes.
mood swings, and brain fog, all of that sort of thing. Well, it's a known thing that potassium iodide can address those issues. And so a friend of mine had given me a little bottle of some off brand potassium iodide tablets that were 150 micrograms. That is like a microscopic amount of potassium iodide.
Oh,
The
okay.
rest of the tablet is total fillers. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. And it's got a coating on it. So, it's like, okay. So the reason she gave it to me actually was because she was worried about Fukushima. She thought, we're gonna get radiation exposure and so forth. She didn't understand that 150 micrograms of potassium iodide would be worthless in the event of radiation exposure. SSKI is the same um, milligrams as the little tablets that you get recommended by the FDA and so forth for radiation exposure, 2 drops a day.
oh, yeah, yeah. I have a lot of friends that are asking me about that. And so that
Two
would
drops.
that I would take to protect my
Thyroid,
thyroid. I mean,
right.
probably the rest of the blast is going to kill me, but if I'm far enough away that I'm just worried about my
Right.
thyroid, that's the thing to
Right.
take.
And
That I would take. Yeah.
back to the reason I started taking it was all of those things. Well, I took the tablet and I started feeling a little better. Wasn't right, but I was better. So when we developed the kit, I started using the 5% solution at 1 drop a day. And it's like changed my world.
Wow.
All of
Yeah.
those things stopped happening. About 15 years ago, I had been diagnosed, well, longer now, been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And it was kind of the disease of the month club at that point. It's like, okay, we don't know what this is, but this is what we're going to call it.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I feel like for me personally, was probably an iodine deficiency. My body was screaming for it.
Yeah.
And I don't have the breast pain, the weird muscle spasms, and all of that stuff that I had with the uh, previously to trying to use something to combat the fibromyalgia. And I thank God I didn't do the pharmaceuticals that were prescribed for that because they found that it causes brain damage. So,
Wow. Yeah. And all kinds of stuff that you can take for menopause that end up like causing cancer and stuff like that. So, like with the different hormone
yeah,
supplementation, it's better, I think, to bring the body into balance in a natural way, address the deficiencies that are the causes of the hormones going out of balance rather than just throw hormones at it, or synthetic hormones, which are really, dangerous and have
that's
risks.
it. I would never have used the synthetic. I got
Mhm.
talked into at one time trying to use the desiccated pig thyroid. And I used it for about 6 weeks and had zero results. And the doctor's like, well, we need to up the dosage. I'm like, no, we need to put it in the trash. Sorry, it didn't work. Not,
Yeah.
not. And
Try
I wasn't
something else.
convinced anyway. And one of the funny things was when they did the testing, he said, well, your iodine levels are great. I'm like, well, yeah. But a friend of mine was on this kick of she's doing the pellets for hormones and that sort of thing, was trying to convince me that I needed to do that. So I got talked into it and it was like, that's worthless,
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to age no matter what. And I'd rather do it naturally and gracefully
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah.
that's
That, but we are. That's our that's the way we're going to go, and we should just support ourselves in the most natural way possible and in the most healthy, make sure that we have all the nutrition we need, supplementing if need be, and focus on that first and then worry about all that other stuff. So I'm with you totally
there's
on that.
legit medical reasons that people need certain pharmaceuticals or need
Yes.
interventions and so forth. I don't happen to be one of those people.
Yeah.
And thank God,
Yeah.
I mean,
Very
he's
fortunate. Hmm.
blessed me with pretty good, solid health. Um, I had a bad car wreck several years ago, and that created some issues. And but none of it could the medical field do anything about. And I saw some of the top spinal specialists in the country. And so it's like, okay, I can deal with this. And with some divine intervention, I'm doing really good. I'm not
Awesome.
picking up 50-pound feed bags anymore, but yeah. He said, don't lift anything heavier than a cup of coffee.
Well, nobody needs to do that anyway at a certain age. It's like, I would hire
Lift.
someone to do that now.
When I pulled the girl card.
Yeah, yeah, I do that a lot. I have 2 boys, and now that they're 8 and 10, you guys are taking out the trash, and doing those things around here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So did you have
yes.
some other questions about the uses of the product or any?
Well, so we've talked about a few, and I know people can research some other ones. Like, are there people that purchase it from you that use it for different things that I wouldn't know about that might?
Yeah, we've had some real interesting calls from folks. One gentleman contacted us wanting to buy, we sell the kit, but we also sell a refill 4-pack. And it's designed for those people who are using it for various protocols or therapies to be able to keep their kit reusable long term. And he contacted us and said, you have no idea how excited I am about your company. I said, really? He said, my daughter found you. He said, my wife has a rare blood disease and it requires SSKI several times a year. The cost, because the insurance wouldn't pay for it, was about $400 an ounce.
Whoa. Whoa, that is
Yeah. He said,
crazy.
send me about 4 4-packs and I'm good for about 2 years. And because she has to use it at SSKI strength, this was her only other option. And she's, they
So
know
you're
how to make
saving her hundreds of dollars, basically.
thousands.
Okay, wow.
We have
That's
a number
awesome.
of pharmacies that buy from us as well, and it's easier for them. They can buy the kit and for $40 and turn around and resell it pre-mixed to their
Mhm.
customer under and charge whatever they're going to charge for it. So yeah,
Amazing. But people
um,
can come to you directly, which is really nice.
we're contacted by a lot of naturopaths, a lot of doctors that work both spectrums. And that really brought out a lot of them during the pandemic.
How do we say this lightly? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, during the lockdowns when you couldn't get what you needed to get, and a lot of the doctors were looking for every alternative that they could.
Yes. Yeah, I
Um,
saw a study out of China about um they were using it early on in the pandemic. They were using some kind of iodine formula or some kind of potassium iodide. I can't remember exactly, so I don't want to like
yeah,
whatever, but I saw something that they were using it early on in China with really good results. So I was like, "Oh, that's fascinating
it was
information."
trying everything,
Mhm.
everything. If you go on the NIH website and just put in uses for potassium iodide or SSKI, you will find tons of research. On our website, which is morgellonsdirect.com, you'll see at the top a tab that says resources. And if you go to that page, there's links to all kinds of articles about different uses. Some are from medical professionals, some from the NIH website. I think the recommended dosage recommendations in the event of a radiation exposure from a nuke or a dirty bomb. That dosage information is on there as well, because a lot of people are concerned about, what if I have a baby? What if I have small children? Because the dosage for us anywhere from birth to 3 months is very, or 3 years old is very different
It's
than
one
what.
not one size fits all.
But if you're using it as an SSKI liquid, it's a whole lot easier to dilute than breaking up tablets into, you
Uh-huh.
know, measures.
Yeah, trying to
Um,
crack them and with your little pill crusher or whatever you're doing and
well,
trying to figure
and
out. Mhm.
I have an esophageal issue, so I can't swallow large capsules or
Oh,
tablets, that sort of thing. You get one of a potassium iodide tablet stuck in your throat, you're going to be in trouble.
yeah.
So it can be, I'm sure, quite caustic. And that's why they all say, drink lots of water and all of that sort of thing. So to me, it's easier. I put 3 drops in a glass of water and I'm golden. So
We were talking, or I noticed some stuff about other products on the market that are pre-diluted.
yeah,
um there's just a bunch of fillers in them, and then they also sometimes use the word nascent, and I don't know what that even means. What is nascent?
marketing tool.
It's a
It
marketing
is.
tool. What
Yeah,
is it?
it's a
I don't even know what it means. I'm sure I've fallen for it before because I don't know what it is.
what they're saying is it's an ionic iodine product. Well, they all are.
Okay, yeah, how else?
So, in fact, if you'll go onto our website, there is a blog on there that says, "What's the big deal about nascent iodine?" And it explains exactly what it is, and it cites all of the medical information, all of the researchers below it, and so forth. You can check it out for yourself. We
Okay.
try, whenever we post something like that, we use other resources to back up that information. It's not just because I said so.
Yeah, okay. Good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So,
That's so funny. So
yeah,
it
there's
basically means like ionized or something is what they're saying that means.
yeah, it's market. It's all marketing.
Okay.
Yeah. There is no scientific proof whatsoever that calling something nascent improves the quality of the product. It's also a very low dosage. It's in micrograms. People need to understand the difference between micrograms and milligrams is 1,000%.
I like when I was getting into essential oils, I learned that there's like oils go through brokers and this, that, and the other. And so the purity thing happens at with those essential oils and stuff. This is a totally different topic, but I want to just bring it back that the 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 guarantee of like it going between these hands and these hands and these hands of it coming out pure, it gets lower and lower because you don't
Right.
know what somebody else did unless you're testing each bottle. Da, 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 da. But in this case, I'm making it myself. So I know exactly what went into it, which is really, it gives you a certain amount of security that it did for me, that I was like, oh, I know it's just the stuff and water, it's the crystals and water. It's just, I'm getting the purest
And if
product.
you're mixing it at a low strength, like at a 5% strength, you can use purified water. If you're going to make it to the full strength at SSKI, it has to be distilled water. And
Hmm.
the reason behind that is all water still contains minerals and little particulate matter that
Yes,
would keep it from saturating.
right.
Because if the water's already got stuff in it, you can't put all of the exact amount of potassium iodide in there. So if you use distilled water, there's no minerals, there's no flotillas of any kind.
Well, we
So
just
it saturates fully. And a really cool thing happens, and you may have experienced this when you mix your solution at SSKI and you're shaking it up, the bottle gets really cold.
oh, I didn't notice that. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
I normally suggest to people to warm up the distilled water a little bit,
I think I
maybe
did
30 seconds in the microwave to make it warm because it helps the crystals dissolve
to
faster.
dissolve. Yeah, I just
So
put my distilled water in a pot on the stove and warmed it up and then added it. So I don't think I noticed as much the cooling because wasn't thinking about it at the time and it was a few
sure, a
years.
lot of, or you may be holding it from the lid and not the actual bottle itself, and that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never thought about that until the customer said, "Is this normal?" I'm like, "I don't know. Let me go see." And so I mixed up the bottle. I'm like, I'll be darned, it is normal. But yeah,
Ah,
and it's not unusual to have a few crystals at the bottom of the bottle that did not dissolve. That's either from not getting exactly the amount of water into your syringe that you should have. So it's short a little bit. So it
uh-huh.
means the solution
It
that's in there is
means
fully
top it off.
saturated.
It
Okay.
means top it
So
off.
well, it just means you can either add a couple of drops of distilled water until
Uh-huh.
those dissolve.
Uh-huh.
Just keep shaking it every so often. You don't want to fill the bottle with water. It's not supposed to be. It makes 1.3 ounces. They don't make bottles in 1.3 ounces.
Okay.
So we could only get a 2-ounce bottle. That's the closest we could get. So it's not going to fill the bottle, and it's not supposed to. I've had
Okay.
a few people call me and go, I went ahead and filled the bottle. You blew your solution then. You got about a 50% solution. So as opposed to SSKI. So we worked it out with them, but it's okay.
It is okay because it's still stronger than most of the stuff on the market because 50% is way
Absolutely.
higher than 5, so
Sure,
it's
10
it's
times
a
more. And the difference between a drop of 5% and a drop of SSKI is 20 times. So it would take you 20 drops of 5% solution to equal 1 drop of SSKI. So you got a lot of room to play with to figure out what's your perfect amount, you
uh-huh.
know?
There
So,
are
um,
certain contraindications, so people should probably like figure out if they have them and do their own research and try to.
yeah, let's talk about that for a minute. First off, always use counted drops, never dropperfuls. It's like the Lugol solution is some of the nascent and so forth. They'll say, "Oh, use 3 dropperfuls," and no, not with this product. This is a high potency iodine product. So, if you have high blood pressure and you are taking medication for high blood pressure, check with your pharmacist or your MD to make sure that you can take a potassium iodide product. It's not the iodine that's the issue, it's the potassium because potassium increases blood flow.
Okay.
So we don't want to increase your blood pressure. Depending upon what medication you have, may already include potassium. Typically, blood pressure medications are a diuretic, and that will deplete a lot of your minerals. So they'll suggest taking a prescription potassium product, and that's fine. That's a great thing to do. It'll help keep down the muscle spasms and all of that. But you don't want to add another potassium product in on top of that.
Right.
So
So if I'm eating a ton of bananas, I might not
yeah, or if you
take
eat
as much.
16 yams, yeah, I that don't quote me on that. That's an arbitrary number I just came up with off the top of
Yes,
my head.
yeah, we're being a little playful here.
Absolutely. Yeah. The other thing is, if you're allergic to iodine, don't take any potassium iodide product of anybody's,
Okay, yeah.
because you will have a reaction and it can be devastating. Um, if you are on blood thinners like warfarin, say you have a tendency towards blood clots or something like that, then you can't use it because of the potassium increases the blood flow. We don't want you bleeding out on a paper cut, you know.
And then
Um,
with overactive thyroid, I would think you'd want to talk to your doctor before if you had overactive thyroid.
um, yeah, if you have concerns about that, talk to your doctor. Anytime you've got any kind of a medical issue, you can search it. NIH has a lot of information on those kind of things. Just put in whatever your issue is and potassium iodide. A lot of times it'll come up, or whatever medication that you're taking. There, drugs.com will tell you what the contraindications are.
Hmm.
So, for drug interactions and so forth. I personally will tell our customers, if you're using our product, don't use any other iodine product, because you don't. If you had some kind of reaction of some sort, you want to know who the culprit was.
Yeah, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
There's a guy on Telegram that goes by Gene Decode, and he's got probably about a 500,000 followers. He's very much into natural and alternative health resources, that sort of thing, and he knows all kinds of stuff. Anyway, he discovered us about 2 years ago, and is a big fan and big promoter and so forth. But he at one time had contacted me and he said, "Oh, I did something really stupid." And I said, "What'd you do?" And he said, "Well, I've been using your product for a while, and I was using glucols as well." And he said, "I should never do that." And I said, "No, you should never do that." But what he does is he does a lot of mountain hiking and so forth. And he was using the glucols as a water purifier. And it's fine for that. It was designed initially as a disinfectant for disinfecting surfaces in a lab, or staining sludge or staining tissue, that sort of thing. And that it's beautiful for that. And how it made the leap to being ingested, we don't know. But he was using it as a water purifier. And he's up in the mountains and so forth. And he was using too much of it. And then he was taking our potassium iodide on top of all of that. So he kind of overdid it and got pretty upset stomach. Um, with a Lugol solution with overuse, you can get a pretty upset stomach. So,
So the Lugol's is 5%, and
oh, it's two.
oh,
It's
it's
two.
2%. It's not even 5. Okay. So 2%. What's the rest of the bottle? What else is in there if it's
There's
only
a
2?
very small amount of potassium iodide, and then they add the small amount of elemental iodine. And between the two of those, it makes up a 2% iodine solution. The
Okay.
rest of it can be either some form of alcohol, or it can be distilled water, should be distilled water. But I've seen some of them just say triple osmosis water.
Uh-huh.
So,
Okay.
and there are some tinctures of iodine out there that they're selling as supplements that are made with alcohol, and certain folks can't go anywhere near it because of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either for health reasons or addiction reasons, or religious reasons. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that makes
and
sense. I know a lot of people that can't take tinctures because they're made with alcohol and they have to use other types of tinctures or something else, because
yeah,
alcohol.
well, and you can't carry it opened in your car. That's an open container with something with alcohol in it,
Uh-huh.
and good test. If you're taking dropperfuls of Lugol's, or one of those solutions that's a tincture, you could test higher than you wanted to on a breathalyzer. If
Wow.
Well, I'll give you an example. My son, when he was about 17, I guess it was, he and several other guys were doing this workout regimen that included a tincture for pumping up their muscles or whatever.
Yeah.
And he got pulled over because he switched lanes incorrectly. And the stuff smells very chemically. And so he got busted. He spent the night in jail and impounded his car and so forth. And got the bottle of what it was and took it to the DA and showed him.
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, I said, it has no more alcohol in it than NyQuil."
Yeah.
That's low dosage of NyQuil. He
Yeah.
said, well, I don't care. He's under 21 and he shouldn't be having any alcohol. I'm like, okay, whatever. It got thrown out of court.
No, good. Good.
Yeah. They were
Nobody
just
needs a DUI for taking a tincture or health supplementation or whatever. That's just nonsense.
yeah.
Um, so I think we covered so the other brands are 2%, and so that's the max that
Well,
is
the
that like a
difference, yeah, the
regulation?
difference to see is, are they measured in micrograms or milligrams? That'll tell you right off if it's a weak solution, if it's in micrograms. If right now, a lot of people are really concerned about the radiation exposure, and something in micrograms, well, something less than SSKI is worthless for it.
Okay. So
So,
this is such a resource. I've been sharing it with friends all through the pandemic and telling people about it, and turned a lot of people on. I know you guys were super busy back then. I think you even had like back orders at a certain point. It was
oh, we
crazy.
were we were insane. They wiped us out on Amazon of full stock twice. We still haven't put the refills back on Amazon. We just sell those from the website, and Amazon, because the I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this, because there are products promoted by large organizations that come in tablet form.
Okay.
Anything else that could be used for that purpose is being suppressed.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of how things go. I think we're
Oh
all
yeah.
pretty much
Oh
familiar with
yeah.
that. Most of the people that are watching my show know about that kind of stuff.
Oh
we
yeah.
There's a lot of suppression of competition whenever anything gets government funding or whatever it is. So that happens.
Oh yeah.
Um, One of the things that you mentioned was that you were going to offer a discount for people that are watching my show, and
Sure.
I'm super excited about that. So do you want
Sure.
to talk about that and what the price is and where they can buy it and what?
Absolutely. The Morgellons Direct SSKI potassium iodide mixing kit, that's its whole formal name, runs $39.95. Um, just so you know, if you mix it at a 5% solution, there's enough potassium iodide in that one packet to make 2 solutions a year if you just wanted to for the next 10 years. So you wouldn't have to buy it again for 10 years.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah. You're using it at SSKI strength for whatever reason, there's about 800 drops in that solution. So you're gonna, if you're using it 1 or 2 drops, you're gonna have plenty for quite a while. Okay, like over a year. Excuse me. If you're using it for radiation protection, there's enough in one batch of SSKI solution to use for 28 adults for 2 weeks.
Oh, very good.
Little tablet things come in blister packs of 14. That's enough for one adult, and they're like $20 a pack. So
Wow.
try figuring that for 28 people. Yeah. Anyway,
Saving.
so what
Thank
we
you for
just
doing this. Thank you for coming up with this idea to get this what people need to them,
yeah
yeah.
yeah we it's a God thing. Okay, we were given a mission, and so it's a God thing.
Mhm.
And we had a family member that had a mystery illness that another family member found some research through NIH of a doctor in Brazil that was dealing with a similar situation using SSKI. And the family member didn't have the resources to come up with enough potassium iodide to see if it would work. And we did. And out of that was born the kit and the refills. He was the guinea pig, and he's fine. He's doing
Yeah,
really good.
that's
Yeah.
good.
And
That's good.
there are more and more things that they're finding out that it works really well for. Up until the 70s, it was used for everything. And then the pharmaceutical revolution, and it fell out of popularity and nobody knows about it anymore. Anyway, so back to the discount. That's the long way around the bush.
No,
Okay,
it's good.
if you will put the word blessed
Blessed.
into the discount code box, okay, then we can get you a 10% discount on the
Thank you.
cost of one kit per order. Okay. We don't offer any discounts on the refills because the cost of potassium iodide has gone through the roof. Of course, everybody's trying to get potassium iodide because of
Yeah.
the food scarcity.
Threats. Yeah, the
So,
threats and
yeah,
everything
I
that's
mean,
going on. Right.
we're shipping all over the world. And
Excellent.
yeah,
We
a lot of
are we are blessed that you have come up with this product, and that you're offering it at such a great price, and thank you for the 10% discount for everyone that's watching. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
yeah. If they have any questions on the product, if they have any questions on, hey, is it, what can I do with it and that sort of thing, of course, welcome to visit our website, but they're also welcome to call.
Okay.
And now the regular phone number is published on the website, and it's usually goes to voicemail. But if I can get to it, I will. I'm the one that handles all the phone calls. Um, and it's available from about 9 to 6. Uh, After that, use the contact form or just email us directly. That's the fastest way to get us is email.
Perfect.
And that's customer service at morkellensdirect.com. And at that point, then if it's something that really needs a phone call right then I will make arrangements. If they're international, we do have international calling. They can just email us with the phone number and the right time to call in their time zone, and I'll call them back.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much. This is like what a value. I mean, the being there to answer any questions yourself.
Yeah, always surprised. Oh my God, I got a real human. I'm like, wow. And it surprises me because I assume when I call a company, I'm going to get a human, but often especially with non-corporate, humongous companies, you always get voicemail, and you may or may not get called back.
Yeah.
That's
The other day I wanted to do something with my Zoom. Even we're using Zoom to do this call, and I tried to use their chat, and they said the level of customer service that you have doesn't entitle you to use the chat. Like, it said go to the chat to answer this question. So I went to the chat, and it said your level of whatever doesn't entitle you.
another
Oh
four
my,
ninety nine a month. Yeah, you
it
can
was
get
such a rigmarole to get a hold of somebody. It was such a pain
we
to
do
like.
have chat on our website, and it's kind of pointless. I mean, yeah, you when I got it open, I can communicate with you with chat. But if there's not somebody sitting at that computer
At that
um,
moment, right.
at that moment, then you're going to get an answer via email.
Yeah,
It will respond that way.
quickly. And you respond quickly to those, so
Yeah,
yeah.
usually within an hour to two.
Wow,
And
yeah, very quickly.
I I don't want to sit around. I'm hyper. I don't want to sit around and wait on somebody else to come up with an answer. I'm going to do my digging and so forth. And I know most people are probably pretty much the same way. If I need an answer, I need it yesterday.
Yeah, yeah, it's like I wouldn't be calling if I didn't need something right now. Yeah, or yeah, exactly. It's not
Yeah,
urgent.
the ones that crack me up is we will respond to you within 24 to 48 hours. I'm like, well, why did I bother with this? So I do say that, except we don't ship on the weekends. Okay,
Okay.
we Monday through Friday, and usually our turnaround on shipping product is like within 24 to 48 hours maximum. And but if you order after 5 o'clock on Friday, it's gonna be Monday when that ships out.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here, for joining me, for offering the discount Blessed, BLESSED, because
Yep.
we are, and I appreciate that. And
I
I
have
hope
it even
everybody
listed
gets
on the chat. If you go to the chat and say, "Can I get a discount code?" It will tell you. Put blessed in there. So
perfect. And my family very much appreciates morejellinsdirect.com and your business and you and everything. So thank you very much.
pleasure to visit with you. And it's a mission, and we are blessed, and so we want to share that with others. So it's
It's,
so
it's
good to get to see you.
Yeah, I know. Very nice. It's been wonderful to get to actually talk with you and see your face at the same time. Hear your voice, see your face, get to know you. Everyone watching, thank you so much for viewing another Well-Being Wednesday show, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you.